All right, we are back for the men's 100-meter heats. Now, this, similar to the women, already go check out that video, already put that out. Very, very interesting storylines that came out of the women. On the men's side, there was also some interesting storylines, but in my opinion, it was a little more chalk relative to, I don't know, what I expected, coming into the heats here. Now, first off though, T-Mars McCallum, he won the first heat running 10.01 seconds ahead of Trayvon Bromell, who ran 10.04 seconds. Now, T-Mars out from lane 1 blasted out, and he looked like he was really going. Even when he crossed the line, he ran just like, tried to run into the tunnel. He had so much momentum. And I think one thing about T-Mars is that he didn't do well at NCAAs relative to what he did at SECs, at regionals and all that. So I think he's trying to get like another boost of like, all right, I ran 19.73, at that meet in Tennessee. Now let me prove myself as a contender in the 100 meters here.
I think I'm a 100-meter athlete. I think that's my personal event. The 200 is something I've worked harder at, but it's still my favorite event. So I feel like my top end speed. That's something that I feel like makes me one of the best 100-meter guys.
Now, let's be clear. I don't know if he's going to be, the field is looking still very tough, but this was a good performance for T-Mars. I know, all y'all probably going to come at me like, I told y'all, T-Mars, we're going to see. Trayvon Bromell, though, he actually looked very good, and, he came up for second. Actually, speaking with him afterwards, he said he knew that, everybody essentially qualified through. So it was no big deal for Trayvon Bromell, but he felt confident, and, he spoke about his injuries afterwards and the fact that 2028 is probably going to be his final year of competing, on the circuit.
But you feel 100% now?
A little bit, but I don't think it's something that'll keep me from trying to fight for a position on the team, though.
Yeah, it's still like add up to this big quadrant.
Yeah, I mean, we're in an explosive event, right? So you got to make sure that the body is ready to go and ready to fire. You got to do a lot of things from a prep standpoint, so you just got to be smart about it.
Also, Trayvon did say he's healthy, he's confident, maybe not 100%, but I think he's good. He's going to be ready to make this team. Now, let's move over to the next heat. Also, shout out to PJ Austin in third place there. Next heat, we had Kenny Bernard. Dominant performance, 9.95 seconds to get the win here. Very clear ahead of Maurice Greene, who I'll talk about in a second, who ran 10.10 seconds. Absolute dominant performance, and Kenny B has been showing that dominance all year. We know that he got injured. He said he had a little bit of a tightness before Prefontaine, which led him to pull out. He actually broke that down in the interview, and I'll put the clip here.
I just had like slight tightness in my adductor pectineus. Felt it a week prior to the race, and I thought I would be good. I felt really good, but coach and I didn't want to risk anything, so that's why we just decided to take out.
When did that stop? Or when did you feel like you get over it?
Like 2 weeks after that, maybe like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Pretty much it was just hips needed to be lined, and then after that, once they got lined, everything was good to go.
You feel 100% now?
Yeah, I'm 100%.
But at this point, he's healthy, he's ready. I think that Kenny B is on pace to make this team, just like I think most people are actually predicting. And I think the dominance that he displayed running 9.95 seconds, super, super consistent here. Now, Maurice Greene, he was actually second place here in 10.10 seconds. I spoke to him as well, and he was low-key kind of starstruck. Like he was essentially talking about how he was just so happy to be running against Noah Lyles and Kenny B and Christian Coleman and all these guys that he kind of looks up to. And he was even thinking about it leading up to the meet.
It was actually pretty cool to me. I've seen a lot of people that I looked up to, like Noah Lyles, Christian Coleman, Bromell, and stuff like that. But I just warmed up like I normally do, just focus on myself and get ready for my race.
Is that on your mind at all coming in, knowing, again, like you said, some people that you look up to? Are you thinking about that in the weeks leading up to it? Like, I'm going to get a chance to race them.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it a lot. I've been talking about it with my coach almost every day. How some of the top people that I look up to are going to be running at this meet, and how I'm blessed enough to be in the meet with them and compete to go to Tokyo.
So it's a weird dynamic where you have a high school kid coming into a professional meet like this, and we know that they've run fast, but this is what I was talking about in my NCAA video, where when you're now lined up to other athletes who are like professionals and who really quote unquote do this, like day in, day out, they are running against other professionals. That's a different dynamic on the mindset level that you cannot replicate in some of these big meets. Or in some of the smaller meets, I'm sorry. So that's something that Maurice Greene kind of did speak to. So shout out to Maurice Greene, second place here. Kyrie King, third place. Christian Miller, fourth place. So decent performances, but down the pack. Tate Taylor, What did he run? 10.36 seconds. Now, he qualified on time, but this was another athlete who many people actually had on their teams because of the performances he put down through the year. Again, we have to look at what an athlete does through the season and then what they're doing at a championships when they're lined up next to a Kenny B, next to a Noah Lyles, next to whoever else, right? Courtney Lindsay. All these professional athletes, it's not the same when you're running against high school athletes. So, he qualified through, we'll see, but it doesn't give me, or I'm assuming it doesn't also give other people confidence about what he might be able to do. Because you know that Kenny B, Trayvon Bromell, that they're going to be good progressing through the rounds. Can Tate Taylor do it? If he could only barely get through the heats, who knows? We're going to see. But shout out to, that was Heat 2 on the men's side. Heat 3, really, really deep heat. We had Noah Lyles getting the win. This was deep. Noah Lyles, 10.05 seconds. And he was comfortable. He looked, decently comfortable. Noah Lyles never gets that excellent start, and he spoke about it afterwards as well. But, he was able to push through and, get through into the next round. He did say, though, that he's not running the subsequent rounds of the 100, and he's only going to be focusing in on the 200, like we actually did expect.
And my first 5 meters wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, but that's just, again, my second 100 of the year. I can't really be mad at that. I felt like I had a really good dry phase. I felt like I got on top of myself extremely well. So I'm going to take those as wins, and we're just going to go back to Coach B and say, hey, this is just what we got to fix.
Were you running it like a prelim, or were you running that like a final?
No, I was running that like a final. I don't see any reason to come out here right now. I mean, I'm only going to have 1 round in the 100, 2 rounds in the 200. I'm in plenty shape, in terms of endurance-wise and rest and recovery. So there's no reason to really back off in my head.
So, he's going to focus in on the 200, run those 2 rounds, try and defend his title, and then go over to Worlds. He already has the wild card. I think he said the Poland Diamond League is going to be in his next one. Now, what's interesting about Noah Lyles is he said that he gained another level of motivation kind of like in the middle of the season, about June or so. Probably we saw him delete his entire Instagram and start the black and white situation. But I don't know. I'm getting a sense from Noah Lyles that it's almost like a disappointment level of where track and field is at right now. And he seems like he's, of course, been trying to put so much into the sport, and I don't think he's feeling the return that he might have wanted it to. Now, again, we spoke at length. Check out the full interview on the Citius Mag YouTube channel, but I'm just getting a vibe of I don't know if track and field is ready for the place that Noah Lyles wants to go. He, of course, has his production company, and he's trying to do a lot of other things outside of that. So I don't know. He said that he's, potentially he wants to retire on top, but he doesn't know when, that time is going to be, for him to transition out. But I don't know. Just some random thoughts, speaking of Noah Lyles, it's interesting in terms of his place in track and field right now. And especially in 2025 as he's leading to the World Championships with the bye. Now, behind him, Ronnie Baker looked excellent, 10.07 seconds. He looked better than he has, since the indoor season, right? He got injured at World Indoors after having a legendary 2025 indoor season. Didn't look great outdoors, but he looked good here. I liked his performance here, especially running from that inside lane, I think lane 2. So he looked good. 3rd place, Jordan Anthony. Now, he was running from lane 9 on the outside. He looked good too. He looked pretty good for the most part. It will be interesting to see how he is able to progress through the rounds and how he's able to compete with some of those other guys. I'm still not fully confident in his ability against a Kenny B, a Trayvon Bromell. If Ronnie Baker is showing up like this, will he be able to take him down? Maybe. He has a talent, but will he be able to show up?
Feel great, man. Just a nice little run, a nice little jog, Everybody know I'm not a prelim warrior. I don't go out there and do anything crazy. Well, I try not to. Just try to stick to the plan, be coachable. Like my coach said, go out there, execute the race. First one, it's a blowout. Tomorrow is the real dogs come out. But I'm already doubted. I have nothing to lose. I owe NCAA. I have nothing to lose really. So why not try to come out here, bang something crazy? Like I said, just do what I do. Everybody know I'm a gamer. So when it's time to game, count on JA.
So we'll actually see that, and he feels confident. Shout out to Anson Henry in the interview that he did. But we'll see how that plays out. But next one, last and final heat on the men's 100-meter side, Courtney Lindsay got the win ahead of Christian Coleman, 10.05 to 10.08, and then Brandon Hicklin, 10.14. I know some of y'all might come for me. Listen, I still think Brandon Hicklin is on pace to make the team, but things can change. I'll admit if I'm wrong if that happens, but I'm sticking with my prediction. Now, Courtney Lindsay looked good. He was out. He was running on the inside from lane, from lane 4. Christian Coleman was in lane 6. He was out. He was comfortable. Christian Coleman kind of I don't know if it was made up a little ground, but he held his own position, midway through the race. So I liked where he was at, but I feel like Courtney Lindsay was just slightly better, from the start, and he maintained. Courtney Lindsay missed the team individually last year, and I know he wants to get back on that team this year. He has a good shot in the 200, where I think he has a better shot than the 100, but he's acting like he wants to make this 100-meter team. He wants to make that double. So we'll see how that actually does play out. Christian Coleman, again, this was probably the best race that Christian Coleman has had in 2025. I'd probably say that. Yes, 10.08 seconds, it's not his season's best, but I would say this was arguably the best race that he's run all year. I feel confident saying that he'll make the final, pretty confident about that, but I'm, not gonna say that he's gonna make the team. That's a whole different situation. So we'll see how that actually does play out. The semis are gonna be a lot more telling for what the final is going to play out to be. That's where everyone is going to be running that semifinal like a final. That's where it's like, yo, I have to show up or this is it. We're going to see. But that's the men's 100 meters. I don't think there were any major surprises or anything across the board, but we're going to see how things progress. Let me know what you think about those heats from the men's 100 meters. We got another day. This is only day 1. Got a couple more days going. So let me know what you think. Always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.